welcome to another episode of On the Road into the Stars. We are continuing from last week. Here's part 2 of my Wineries of Miami County trip. Somerset Ridge Vineyard and Winery offers a welcoming and scenic experience where guests can stroll the vineyard grounds and enjoy guided tastings of their award-winning wines. With over 9,000 grapevines and 5,000 cases produced annually, they craft a full range, from crisp, dry whites and bold reds to semi-sweet and dessert wines, all made using traditional methods with a focus on pure enjoyment. As the first winery established in Miami County since Kansas's Prohibition ban, Somerset Ridge is a pioneer in the region's wine revival. Wine lovers can also join the KC Wine Club to receive quarterly shipments of exclusive, small batch wines, tasting notes, recipes, and access to special events with no membership fee and plenty of perks. The historic Somerset Schoolhouse, built in 1920, has been lovingly restored by Jimmy and Leslie Baker into a unique destination that blends small-town charm with modern flair. Deeply personal to Leslie, whose grandparents, father, and extended family all attended the one-room school, it now serves as a vibrant community space once again. Visitors can start by browsing the thoughtfully curated boutique filled with home decor, pantry items, bath and body products, custom gifts, and more. Step into the cozy faculty lounge speakeasy where handcrafted cocktails, martinis, local wines, and beers are served with a nod to the building's schoolhouse roots, with drinks like the Principal and Prom Night. The on-site cafe features freshly roasted coffee from Brew & Brew Co., along with lattes, pastries, and other treats. Outside, guests can unwind on the inviting patio, complete with a fire pit, cornhole, horseshoes, live music, and even cigars. The Somerset Schoolhouse offers a little something for everybody, all rooted in a deep love of community and history. Lastly, a place near and dear to my heart, Isinglass Winery and Estates. It's a true Kansas original, home to the state's largest vineyard with over 30 acres of grapevines and over a dozen varietals grown entirely on site. From vine to bottle, every step of the winemaking process is handled in-house, resulting in authentic estate wines with an exceptional reputation. Visitors can enjoy tastings, live music, and delicious food at the Gastro Pub and Tasting Room, which seats up to 300 guests and offers a vibrant calendar of events year-round. The estate is also packed with family-friendly activities including a petting zoo, yoga, polo matches, trail rides, and fishing, making it much more than just a winery. For those who want to turn their visit into a getaway, Isinglass offers a variety of overnight lodgings. From the cozy guest house and private cottage to one-of-a-kind luxury Kansas-made plainscraft covered wagons, complete with king-size beds, full bathrooms, outdoor kitchens, and sunset views over the vineyard and polo field. So grab your favorite people, hop on a wine trolley, cheers to a good time, and sleep in a wagon, all right here in Miami County. To plan your visit, head to travelks.com. I'll see you next week on the road.